Them Brothers from Inglewood podcast. I'm Hooper, your host, coming to you live and direct. I'm outside. It's real in the field. And listen, I have a really interesting topic that I'd like to talk about today. But before I do, I want to say thanks for all of your support. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, and ringing the notification button. And I'll ask you to do the same this time. Thank you also for your encouragement. Thank you for placing comments in the chat, giving us insight, and helping us raise more questions as it relates to getting a better understanding as we dialogue. You know, this thing is all about coming together and sharing ideas and concepts and also reaching logical truth. All right. Thank you so much once again. You know, today is very interesting because we just got finished with the World Olympics, and it's always great to see the USA represent in all those areas that we've been invited to do so. And so everyone wants gold, right? That's the objective. Win the gold, win the gold, win the gold. And we made history once again. There were so many individuals that achieved and accomplished their dreams, but also as a team effort, many of the teams were also successful in winning a medal. We didn't always win the gold, but we did medal in quite a few areas. Track and field, of course, swimming, they did an excellent job. Gymnastics, I know a lot of people were so excited about the reappearing, or let's just say, to see some of the familiar faces come back to compete and succeed. They did win medals. I think I want to kind of chime in on men's basketball. The ladies or the women's USA team also achieved gold, and Diana Taurasi made history. She, I believe, is the most decorated medalist in women's basketball. And so kudos and congratulations to Taurasi. She is a native of California, Southern California that is. I know a lot of you all down there in Connecticut, Stores, not Scores, but Stores, Connecticut. You guys are very proud of Diana, and so are we on the West Coast. But I want to kind of just ask you a question as I present this topic that I really thought about, you know, after a couple of days have passed since the Olympics, concluded or climaxed. There was a lot of emphasis on men's basketball, especially surrounding LeBron James as well as Steph Curry. I know watching quite a few of the games that it was totally a team effort. It wasn't that one person brought us to the gold, and without that person, we probably would have not won gold. I think everyone had their moment where they shined, brightest. I believe that all of those professionals made a great contribution to the cause. I know that a lot of people were pretty much dismayed. They were disgruntled about Jason Tatum not playing that much. Some of the games he did not play at all. Of course, Embiid, who plays for the Philadelphia 76ers, who started in multiple games, and then there were a couple of games where they say he was benched, but he was definitely taken out of the lineup. However, I want to talk about, just for the sake of subject matter, from the concept of winning, I would say, was the competition staged, or I don't want to say staged because that sounds too harsh, but was the USA men's basketball team comprised so that certain individuals could shine? Was it to the point that it was also about branding, a moneymaker? Was it about marketing? Was it necessary to feature one or two guys on the men's basketball team as well as the women's basketball team? Because I'm gonna get to the ladies in just a second, because a lot of people felt Diana Taurasi should not have been taken over Kaylin. Me personally, I know that Diana Taurasi has done historical things for the women's game on the collegiate level and in the WNBA as well as overseas. So she is pretty much the hallmark of women's basketball in a sense as she's getting close to retirement. But I just think probably because Kaylin is a rookie in the WNBA and she has time to play in quite a few more Olympic Games, I think that the decision was sort of easy from that standpoint of picking Taurasi. Or let's not isolate it and say it came down to Taurasi and Kaylin. Maybe it was just looked at that because they both are pretty much historical scorers. They can put the ball in the basket. They both play guard, and maybe that was the comparison aspect of it. However, career-wise, it's apples and oranges. I mean, we've seen Taurasi's body of work. She is much older, she is much more tenured, and her numbers speak for itself. She's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and no one can take that away from her. Yes, this is the close or the climax of her career. A lot of people highlighted that she didn't score in quite a few of the games. She didn't rebound well. She didn't, have multiple assists. That Kaylin could have done a better job. Okay, I get that. Valid. I'm not going to argue that. But let's kind of shift back to the men. My topic really consists of, friend or foe. Is this a camaraderie decision? Was the USA men's basketball team comprised because of branding purposes, or was it hand selected as it related to who could give us the best possible chance to win? Okay, LeBron James has clearly exceeded the expectations from the day he stepped foot on an NBA floor to play his first NBA game. He has met every expectation. So for anybody to criticize LeBron James, I think you need to just revisit what he has done over the last 21 years of his career, okay? We're not even gonna count high school. Let's just go on the day he played his official NBA game. And so with that, I would say that LeBron James has proven to be a leader. He has proven to be dependable. He has proven to be a go-to person. And his specialty to me has, simply exceeded some of the criticisms that he has received. Yes, I believe that LeBron James was a huge factor in how we won the gold. Did he win it by himself? Of course not. One man can't beat a company of 12 to 15 players. So no, he didn't win by himself, but his contribution, his experience, his expertise has proven to be very advantageous to that group. Kudos to Steph Curry. He played an amazing Olympic tour. From the first 5 games of prepping for the Olympics, he's been stellar. I can't say enough about his talent, his skill, his gift, and yes, he played a huge role in the success of that championship final game, where he displayed supreme shooting. Okay, he made 4, I believe, consecutive 3-pointers, and of course he extended the lead to eventually capture the victory. So I don't want to say that it was all about LeBron. I believe KD, he was injured, and so he was not 100% early in the prep part of the 5 pre games that he played in, and then he sat out 1 or 2 with that injury. But he came on the scene. He hit big shots when they counted. He did have a spectacular game where he hit actually 8 shots in a row before missing. And he's a veteran. He has more medals than anyone on that Olympic team. I believe he has 4 gold medals, and so he's highly decorated. He's earned his stay, and so my position on was it marketing, was it branding, was it about money, what was that team and how that team was comprised, what was really all about. That's the big question that a lot of people talk about. I was just sharing with a notable trainer and friend of mine. He's a colleague. He's very experienced in the world of training and coaching and developing basketball players. And his opinion and expertise, it counts. It counts with me. It counts with a lot of people. And so he and I were talking about who was instrumental for the Olympic team and why were they instrumental, and who could have pretty much done more, who did less. And he wasn't being critical. He was actually being very, unbiased. He stayed in the middle of the lane because he wanted to give a sound perspective of what he saw, what he experienced, and why he thinks that some of these players were chosen. And I think overall, my question to him was, what was the deciding factor in staying with certain guys down the stretch? And he said simply, number one, the USA team was an all-star team. You had the best of the best. You had you had 3 world champions in this year's NBA championship. So you have 3 teammates that have chemistry, they understand each other, they know how to play the game, and they're winners. Then you have LeBron James. He's been to 10 NBA championships. He's only won 4. However, he has, just astonishing, and extraordinary talent and skill, but yet he has experience. So he was saying that was a factor. And then he said you had arguably 3 of the greatest shooters probably in NBA history. One in Booker, the other in KD, and of course, Steph Curry. He said, so all of these guys are exceptional shooters and scorers. He said, it's highly unlikely that all 3 of these guys are going to be off at the same time. So he was saying that they were so talented that they had the ability to actually carry the offensive load if the other 2 seemed to have sputtered or seemed to have not been able to, get it done. And so I agree. I totally agree with his analysis. And then he says that, you have comprised a group of all-stars. That's what you have, an all-star team. And then I commented and said, well, don't forget about the coaches. You got some of the most elite, accomplished coaches in all of basketball. And he didn't quite agree. He was like, well, hey, they got the best of the best. I mean, I could go out there and coach these guys. I said, well, first of all, you're not an average coach. You know how to coach. You've had elite talent. You've won on different levels. And so that's not fair because you know how to coach. Now, maybe if you said the clerk at CVS or at Walgreens can go and coach that team, that's a little bit different. But I was advocating that Coach Spoelstra, Miami Heat, is a winner. He's won, I think, 4 or 5 NBA championships since he's been the head coach. And then you have Steve Kerr. We already know he won 3 championships, NBA championships as a player. Then he coached along with a Hall of Fame coach. There they won. And then he inherited the Golden State Warriors, where he actually was a part of 4 NBA championships with the Golden State Warriors. So that counts for something. And then you have Tyronn Lue. Well, Tyronn Lue was an actual player. He's, I think he played 12 or 13 years as an NBA player. He was a part of a championship team with the Los Angeles Lakers, the year they beat the Philadelphia 76ers. And then he also won his first championship, NBA championship, with LeBron James the same year that Cleveland won a championship as a franchise. So he brought a championship to Cleveland along with LeBron James. Let's just say LeBron James, since he was the player, brought or helped bring an NBA championship to the Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? So now you have 3 NBA world champion, or people don't like us to call the NBA championship a world championship because they've not actually played other teams around the world, okay? I get that, okay? But they have 3 coaches with NBA championship pedigree. And then you have one of the most decorated and esteemed college coaches and coach of the Gonzaga Bulldogs, right? So you got a prominent coach who coached collegiate basketball at a very high level. No, he hasn't won an NCAA championship. I can hear somebody chiming in now. No, he has not won an NBA championship. Most people will say he's an underachiever because his team has been number 1 numerous times as the number 1 collegiate men's basketball team in the country. Yes, he's gone to the Final Four. He's actually gone to the championship where they fell a little short. I think it was against Baylor. Yes, they went to the championship and Baylor just sort of, pulled away from them and they ended up losing. But this particular coach, I have a lot of respect for him. I think he has proven that he can coach at an extremely high level with, I don't want to call his teams or his players marginal. I think he has very good talent. He's actually landed a couple of McDonald's All-Americans. He's gotten in some transfers from other major, what they would call major D1 schools, by his school still being labeled as a mid-major. I think he's done an excellent job with what he has. I think if you have great players, you'll accomplish great things. But coaching plays a big part too. Coaching definitely plays a big part. And so I just kind of view the Olympics as a stepping stone for the future. The way they were assembled, they were not physically overwhelming to opposing teams. They were not, big and sluggish. They were very, I would say, finesse, skillful, and athletic. And I believe that we had a glimpse of the future Olympic team and how that team will look and how those teams will play, because to me it presented something far different than previous USA men's basketball teams. I wouldn't call the 92 Dream Team a finesse team. I wouldn't call them a sleek, fast, up-tempo, team. I think that was the greatest team ever comprised in the Olympics and anywhere else. I just believe that we'll never see that type of talent ever again on one Olympic team. So I just think that with Grant Hill's concept and with his vision, I like the direction that he's taking the men's Olympic team because he showed us that he did not have to have all of these Hall of Famers or potential Hall of Fame players on one team to be dominant. Did they dominate the Olympics? No. I think their Achilles heel was defense. I saw that in the first preseason game. I knew that if they did not commit themselves and apply the proper defensive schemes, they were going to struggle, and they did. Everyone who knows anything about, or anyone who knows anything about overseas competition, FIBA and some of the other leagues, China and some of the other, they're very physical, they're skillful, but they're also very, very physical. And the rules are not like NBA rules. They're a lot different. And so I just think that showed immediately. And I believe that that's what it took for coaching staff and for veteran players like LeBron, Steph, KD, Drew Holiday, for those guys to come together and say, listen, we're going to have to stop people. We're going to have to stop them, and we're going to have to stop them often, okay? And so I just think that was something that was very obvious. It was their Achilles heel, and many people, came to understand how important team defense as well as individual defense plays a part in being a winner, a gold medalist, okay? So I just kind of wanted to, talk about, was this team comprised of a bunch of friends, or was it more like a foe, someone that probably assembled it, or put this in motion out of spite, or to slight some other players who we deemed eligible and probably more applicable to this reference of competition. So I just kind of really wanted to talk about this really quick. And listen, like, subscribe, share, ring the notification button so that you'll be abreast as to every time we air a fresh and new episode. Thank you so much once again for your comments, for all of the support. Looking forward to coming back really soon with something new and something very informative. Thank you so much. Take care. See you.